Imagine this: you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. Someone cuts you off, and your heart starts racing. The anger bubbles up. But then you pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself it doesn't have to be this way. What if the things that usually upset you became nothing more than small ripples in the flow of your life, barely affecting your peace? What if you could stay calm, grounded, and unbothered no matter what life throws at you? This is the power of Stoic wisdom. When we stop reacting impulsively and choose calm over chaos, life starts to feel lighter and freer. The storms of anger and frustration fade, making room for love, empathy, and generosity. And here's the key: this inner peace doesn't depend on changing the world around you. It's about changing how you respond to it. The heart of Stoic philosophy is this: you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react. And when you respond with patience, understanding, and forgiveness, you free yourself from emotional burdens and discover a lasting sense of peace and joy. But how do you do it? How do you stay calm when life tests you? In this video, we'll uncover 5 powerful Stoic practices to help you master your emotions and protect your peace. These steps are simple, practical, and life-changing, so make sure to stick around until the end, because the last one might just surprise you. If you're ready to transform your life, hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Stoic Trench for more insights that will help you live a calmer, stronger, and more fulfilling life. 1. Practice understanding. We've all had those moments when someone's words or actions feel like a personal attack. Whether it's a rude comment from a stranger or a colleague's sharp criticism, it's easy to react with anger or defensiveness. But Stoicism teaches us to pause before jumping to conclusions. Instead of reacting right away, we can practice understanding. Ask yourself, could there be something else going on with them? It's easy to forget that we all have our own battles to fight. A person who cuts you off in traffic might be rushing to an emergency. A co-worker who seems grumpy could be dealing with personal issues you don't know about. People's behavior often has less to do with us and more to do with what they're going through. When we remember this, it allows us to step out of the emotional reaction and respond with empathy instead of anger. Imagine a friend who's usually very friendly but suddenly snaps at you. Instead of feeling hurt or upset, take a moment to reflect. Is there a deeper reason for their behavior? Could they be going through a tough time and this is their way of coping? Maybe they didn't mean to hurt you and their frustration is coming from somewhere else. A Stoic approach encourages us to see the whole picture, not just our limited perspective. When we respond with understanding instead of anger, we open the door to healing, not just for the other person, but for ourselves too. In the end, this isn't about letting people off the hook, it's about choosing not to let their behavior control your peace. By practicing understanding, we free ourselves from unnecessary emotional turmoil and make space for kindness and connection, even in the most challenging situations. 2. Let go of expectations. Think about the times you felt angry or frustrated with someone, maybe a friend, family member, or co-worker. Often that anger comes from the simple fact that they didn't meet our expectations. We expect people to behave in a certain way, to follow the rules we set in our minds, and when they don't, we feel disappointed, hurt, or even angry. This happens all the time in daily life, right? Maybe you expect your partner to be on time for an important dinner, but they show up late. Or you expect a colleague to follow through on a promise, but they drop the ball. In both cases, your mind goes into overdrive. Why can't they just do what I expect? Why can't they act the way I want them to? And with that expectation, unmet frustration and anger quickly follow. But here's the thing: expectations are often a trap. We can't control other people's actions, their moods, or the circumstances they're dealing with. Life is messy, and no one, no matter how close they are to us, will always meet our expectations perfectly. When we tie our peace of mind to how others behave, we're setting ourselves up for constant disappointment. Take a moment to think about this. Everyone has their own battles, their own unseen struggles. Just because someone acts in a way that frustrates you doesn't mean they're intentionally trying to upset you. Maybe they're dealing with stress, anxiety, or personal issues you know nothing about. Their behavior might be a reflection of what's happening in their own lives, not a personal attack on you. The Stoic wisdom here is to let go of the need for others to behave exactly as we want them to. When we free ourselves from unrealistic expectations, we also free ourselves from anger. Anger arises when we hold on to expectations that reality cannot meet. When you stop expecting others to act in a certain way, you start to let go of that emotional grip. This doesn't mean you accept bad behavior or that you allow people to mistreat you. It means that you stop letting their actions control your emotions. Instead of getting angry, you can respond with understanding, with patience, or even with forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about excusing poor behavior, it's about choosing not to let it disrupt your peace. The key here is simple: you can't control others, but you can control how you react to them. By letting go of expectations, you allow yourself to experience life as it is, not as you think it should be. This shift doesn't just protect your peace, it helps you maintain a deeper sense of calm, no matter what life throws your way. 3. Focus on compassion. Family relationships can be some of the most fulfilling yet challenging parts of our lives. We all know how easily small disagreements over who forgot to take out the trash or whose turn it is to host a gathering can escalate into full-blown arguments. Now imagine this: you have a relative who always seems to criticize you. It doesn't matter what you do, there's always a comment, a jab, or a disapproving glance. Over time, these words start to sting, and you might find yourself wondering, why are they like this? What did I do to deserve this treatment? But here's a perspective shift that Stoicism offers. What if their criticism has nothing to do with you? When someone lashes out or criticizes constantly, it often stems from their own struggles, insecurities, pain, or frustrations they haven't dealt with. It's like they're carrying a heavy bag of emotions, and instead of setting it down, they try to unload it on others. Recognizing this doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it does allow you to see the situation with clarity. Their words are a reflection of their inner world, not a measure of your worth. By focusing on compassion, you can break the cycle of anger and hurt. Think of it this way: if someone is drowning in their own pain, wouldn't kindness be a better response than adding more anger to the mix? Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, said it beautifully: wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. When you respond to criticism with empathy instead of defensiveness, you're not just helping the other person, you're also protecting your own peace. Compassion transforms the way you see others. Instead of seeing someone as a critic or an enemy, you start to see them as a person who might be struggling in ways you can't imagine. For example, when that critical relative makes yet another remark, pause for a moment. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, could they be projecting their own pain or insecurities? What if I responded with patience instead of irritation? This doesn't mean you have to agree with them or allow disrespect, but by showing understanding, you take control of the situation and your emotions. Compassion doesn't just soften others, it softens you. It's like an antidote to anger, a balm for the soul that helps you rise above petty arguments and emotional traps. And here's the surprising part: when you respond with kindness, you often inspire others to do the same. Over time, those tense interactions can start to shift into something more positive. Remember, focusing on compassion doesn't just benefit others, it's a gift to yourself. When you choose understanding over anger, you free yourself from the emotional weight of resentment. And in that space, peace and clarity can grow. 4. Reframe your perspective. Have you ever done something kind for someone with no expectation of anything in return? Maybe you held the door open for a stranger or helped a friend during a tough time without asking for anything back. Think about how that moment felt. Chances are it gave you a sense of peace and fulfillment, almost as if you had tapped into something greater than yourself. Now imagine bringing that same perspective into situations where anger or frustration might otherwise take hold. When someone wrongs us, our instinct is often to focus on what we've lost: respect, time, or even dignity. But what if, instead of fixating on the hurt, you shifted your perspective? What if you saw those moments as opportunities not to react with anger, but to respond with strength and understanding? Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, teaches us no man is free who is not master of himself. This means true freedom comes from controlling your emotions, not letting them control you. When you practice forgiveness, you're not just doing something nice for someone else, you're reclaiming your own peace. It's an act of self-mastery, a way of saying, I won't let this person's actions dictate my inner state. Think of forgiveness not as weakness, but as power. When you let go of resentment, you're freeing yourself from the emotional chains that tie you to the past. You're choosing to rise above, to focus on what you can control, your perspective. For example, let's say a coworker takes credit for something you did. The natural reaction might be anger or even revenge. But instead of dwelling on the injustice, consider reframing it. What can I learn from this? How can I use this moment to grow stronger, more resilient? By shifting your focus, you move away from being a victim of the situation and become the master of your response. Reframing your perspective also leads to a kind of spiritual freedom that no material success can offer. When you stop clinging to anger or frustration, you make room for something far more valuable: peace. This doesn't mean you ignore wrongs or let people walk all over you. It means you refuse to let their actions dictate how you feel. In the end, reframing is about choice. You can choose to see life's challenges as burdens or as opportunities to grow, to forgive, and to master yourself. And every time you choose forgiveness over anger, you take a step closer to the freedom that Stoicism teaches. 5. Appreciate the opportunity to forgive. Forgiveness doesn't have to be a grand, dramatic gesture. Sometimes it's found in the smallest, simplest actions. Think of those everyday moments, like when someone cuts you off in traffic or speaks harshly without meaning to. You could react with anger, let it ruin your mood, or hold on to resentment. But what if you saw it differently? What if, instead of reacting, you paused and asked yourself, what can I learn from this moment? Here's the truth: every opportunity to forgive is also an opportunity to grow. Imagine this: a friend forgets an important promise they made to you. The disappointment feels sharp, and it would be easy to hold on to that hurt, to let it fester. But what if, instead of clinging to that anger, you chose to forgive? What if you saw this as a chance to strengthen your patience, your understanding, and even your connection with that person? Forgiveness isn't about excusing poor behavior, it's about recognizing what's within your control. You can't always change what others do, but you can change how you respond. And here's where the beauty lies: by letting go of anger, you're not just freeing the other person, you're freeing yourself. Think of it like this: holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy stone. It weighs you down, drains your energy, and distracts you from the things that truly matter. Forgiveness is the act of putting that stone down, of choosing to move forward lighter and freer. This doesn't mean forgiveness is always easy. It takes strength to rise above hurt feelings and ego. But with every act of forgiveness, no matter how small, you become stronger. You create a space in your heart where bitterness once lived, and in its place, kindness and understanding can grow. And don't underestimate the ripple effect of your actions. When you forgive, you inspire others to do the same. Your choice to respond with kindness can set the tone for your family, your friends, and even your community. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. By showing kindness where others might expect anger, you create a better world, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. So the next time you find yourself frustrated or hurt, take a step back. Recognize that forgiveness isn't just a burden, it's a gift. A gift to yourself, to those around you, and to the world. When you appreciate these moments as opportunities to grow and show kindness, you begin to understand a powerful truth: forgiveness isn't just an action, it's the key to living a life of peace, freedom, and joy. Embrace these 5 principles for true freedom. These 5 principles aren't just abstract ideas or lofty ideals meant to sit on the pages of a philosophy book. They're tools you can use every single day to transform your life. When you embrace acceptance, you stop fighting against reality and begin to flow with it. It's like moving with the current instead of against it, saving yourself unnecessary struggle. Letting go of judgment liberates you from the biases that cloud your mind. It allows you to see people and situations as they truly are, not as your emotions distort them. By giving up the need to control every little thing, you release yourself from a burden that was never yours to carry. Instead, you focus on what's within your power, your own actions and attitudes. Accepting imperfection both in yourself and others makes life lighter. You begin to see beauty in flaws and opportunities in challenges. Taking charge of your emotions means reclaiming your power. You are no longer a puppet controlled by anger, frustration, or resentment. Instead, you become the master of your own mind. And along the way, there's an incredible discovery: joy through compassion. When you choose to respond to life's difficulties with kindness and understanding, you create a space within yourself for peace to flourish. Compassion isn't just for others, it's a gift you give to yourself. Remember, the path to mastering yourself is not a one-time decision, it's a journey of small, consistent steps. the rewards. A life of freedom, resilience, and unshakable peace. Now, take a moment to reflect which of these principles will you apply first. Let us know in the comments. If this video resonated with you, be sure to give it a like. It really helps us share these ideas with more people. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Stoic insights and practical wisdom. Share this video with someone who could use a little extra peace in their life today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.